Hello and welcome. My name is Melinda. Thank you for joining me today for this presentation about how technology has changed society today and cyber terrorism. Cyber terrorism is a technology that plagues us every day with issues that are unknown to us, and we don't seem to be able to stop it. I want to talk to you today about how technology has shaped and changed society today, the issue of cyber terrorism itself, and a plan to stop it. Cyber terrorism has changed us as a society over the past 20 years by causing us to be scared to use our information online. Karika Ramey, the author of the article Impact of Technology on Society on usetechnology.com, tells us humans use technology to travel, to communicate, to learn, to do business, and to live in comfort. Where would we be if we didn't have electricity to power all of this technology? Cyber terrorists could do this to us, and then where would we be? We as a society need to be prepared for something like this to happen. We have allowed technology to take over our social lives and become a necessity. Cyber terrorism has caused society to change by forcing our hands with the type of things we use every day. For example, the security on the internet and on our phones. This in turn causes us to socially change because we become more introverted and less willing to speak to one another. We as a society would rather text than talk to someone on the phone. Cyber terrorists have caused us to be scared to communicate the way that we used to. How do you know the person next to you at work isn't stealing your identity? This causes us to become very wary of the people we connect with socially, and this makes society change into a more vulnerable place. Cyber terrorism has shaped the way that writers do their work. They make it hard for the writer to be able to write what it is that they want to write. The ability to steal someone's work has made it a necessity to copyright your work. The digital age has changed reading for everyone. You can read books on a tablet or computer as opposed to having the printed book. Society would rather read books digitally, plus digital books cost much less than print. These terrorists make it easy for someone's work to be put up on the internet and stolen by other people. Society has become too afraid to stand up and counteract these terrorists and make our lives harder. Cyber terrorism has shaped the way we use technology and changed the way that we do things. We rely on technology to get us to work, then while at work, and then to get us home again. We have let it take control of us as a society. Smartphones and the internet have taken control of most of our lives. Control is a big part of what technology we receive and how we perceive each other and society itself. Cyber terrorism can take control of our lives easily because we are so plugged into everything. National security is at risk because of this as well. If the cyber terrorists aren't stopped, they will take over the country and possibly the world. They can do this through the fact that we are so controlled by technology. Control has positive and negative effects on us as a society. The positive thing that control has given us over cyber terrorism is better security and awareness. It has allowed us to keep our privacy to a point. The negative effects that control has over cyber terrorism is that with new security and awareness comes more cyber terrorism and more control over our usage of technology. George Reitzer, the author of The McDonaldization of Society, shows us historically organization gained control over people gradually through increasing effective technologies. Society will not be controlled because they do not like being told what they can and can't do, especially online. The advances in technology and cyber terrorism have made bullying and identity theft much easier than it used to be. 20 years ago, you didn't hear about kids being bullied to the point of suicide. You didn't hear on the news about Target's credit card company security being breached. According to Berg and Brainy, the authors of the paper, a social problem, not a technological problem, without understanding the cyberbullying phenomenon, it is impossible to devise effective policy that will not have unintended consequences and threaten basic liberties like freedom of speech. This is what society has allowed to happen. What is cyber terrorism? Cyber terrorism is defined as the politically motivated use of computers and technology to cause disruption and fear. The first time that cyber terrorism was used was in the late 80s when the internet started becoming more prominent. This became an issue again when the Y2K problem started, because this caused people to panic and resort to doomsday prep. Cyber terrorism is about getting back at the people the cyber terrorists think have done some sort of political or ethical wrongdoing. They may also do this to get at financial systems or even our own national security, because they believe this will scare us. The target audience of cyberterrorism are financial institutions, schools, government institutions, and hospitals. The Tech Target website states, according to the U.S. Commission of Critical Infrastructure Protection, possible cyberterrorist targets include the banking industry, military installations, power plants, air traffic control centers, and water systems. Everyone is affected by this type of issue, especially the people that they hack information from. Identities can be stolen and used for personal gain. It is important to know about the people that are affected because they can catch the people that are causing the problem. This also allows us to understand the threat and possibly stop it. Cyberterrorism relates to control because this type of issue is a result of being controlled. These terrorists want us to be afraid of them and what they can do. Thus, they control us. Cyberterrorism is a form of control of the system that is trying to control us. They are trying to get back at the system that has the rules they do not want to follow. The terrorists don't want to be held back by rules of society, so they break them. It informs my understanding of this issue because it brings to light one of the major reasons that cyberterrorism is going on. Control creates avenues for the cyberterrorists to make advances in the digital age. Cyberterrorism is affecting the target audience by making problems for companies and individuals. They can shut down water supply, cause military information to be released to the public, and individuals' information is available online. Cyberterrorists do this to multiple people at the same time and create problems for the government. They can cause concerns for national security, and this will cause new laws to be created. This in turn affects everyone involved with the issue. The terrorists also steal personal information from hospitals and gain knowledge that will lead to a more centralized attack. It also bankrupts companies and causes governments to get involved where needed. I believe that with growth of technology, there will be growth in cyberterrorism. I believe that as long as there is something new, then there is going to be something out there trying to create problems. To justify this, look at what has happened with the problems with the credit cards. Just about every one of the credit card companies and banks have been hacked into to gain financial information. We just recently got new chips in the credit cards, and that has been hacked as well. Equipment has been made to scan the new cards in the pocket of the unsuspecting person. The more that technology advances, the more that cyberterrorism will prevail. There are a few recommendations that I would make to stop cyberterrorism. I would say protecting the client would be the number one thing that a company would want to do. Another thing would be to build some sort of system that would help with catching the threat. Training people to help catch the threat before it became a problem would be another thing I would recommend. Keeping up with current trends and understanding the threat would help with stopping it. You would want to build something that would protect your system and your product, whatever it may be. Evolving with terrorism and educating potential clients about the threat is a good way to keep up with it. Current technology can be used to address the issue by creating a system that could protect the product, the company, and the client. The new technology that could be used to help with financial hacking is the type of technology that iPhone has. According to CNN Money, it has never been done before. The company said it in its court filing Thursday. No operating system currently exists that can accomplish what the government wants, and any effort to create one will require that Apple write new code, not just disable existing code functionality. Something like this could help keep cyberterrorism at bay. Cyberterrorists can be used to counteract cyberterrorism by using a cyberterrorism to help catch others. I would implement my plan by first assessing the problem itself and looking for the cracks and weak spots. I would then audition people that would help me fix those problems. I would then have a team of people capable of creating something that could stop the problems. I would protect my client, product, and company that I would be in charge of. After this, I would continue to educate and evolve the technology that I have. Evolving the technology will make the team better at catching the problem before it causes real trouble for the client. This will allow me to be ahead of the issue and create a way to stop it. The benefits of using this plan would help change the world of cyberterrorism. I believe that using this plan will help keep cyberterrorism under control. The website CSID states cyberterrorism is a 24/7, 365 days a year giant that never sleeps. It doesn't need to eat and it never stops preying. Developing a multifaceted, layered approach to fight against this giant will minimize exploitation of vulnerabilities, allowing people, organizations, and the nation to sleep a little easier at night. Changing with the times and keeping up with evolution of technology is the only way that you can hope to prevent future attacks.